Shwmai, croeso, hello and welcome to the 67th episode of the Bluebirds Nest. Penod arall wythnos yma, ni gallu cael sgwrs yn Gymraeg gyda un o chwaraeon sy'n gallu siarad Cymraeg yn y clwb, ond eto byddwn ni'n cael sgwrs yn Saesneg, bawb yn deall ni. Another one of our club's Welsh-speaking players this week, but we will chat in English so everyone can understand us. And I don't have to sweat too much in trying to speak for 30 minutes or so. But croeso mawr i Rhif 20. Well, big warm welcome to our number 20. Owain Jones, welcome to the Nestos.
Diolch yn fawr. Pleasure i bod on. Pleasure to be talking to you today, and yeah, looking forward to
it. You would completely embarrass me with a Welsh conversation. You were far more bilingual, fluent in Welsh actually. But yeah, it's great to have you on, mate. It's you've been on my list for a while. Another one of the playing squad I've been desperate to chat to on you. After we took the spoils in the Battle of the Bluebirds last Saturday, focus is very much well and truly back on the JD Cymru Premier. And you've played a massive part in that since joining us in the summer. We're sitting high up in second place in the league, but we will stick with tradition. I'm desperate to talk to you about the league, but we will go back to the start of your footballing journey, if that's all right. You, I think, around about the age of 10, I think you signed for the Swans Academy. Following an upbringing at grassroots football. Am I right in saying Pontardawe Town?
Pontardawe Town, yeah.
What age were you when you first started playing then?
I think I was about 6 when I joined Pontardawe Town. My grandparents are from the area, so that's how I sort of fell into playing there. Not like in Ammanford where I'm from, really, but yeah, loved playing with my mates and stuff. And yeah, I think I actually went to Cardiff to the development squad for a couple of years before I actually went to Swansea, and then yeah, did my obviously 6-week trial and got in at Swansea, and then never looked back really from there.
Yeah, going in at 10, you were right there. We'll come on to your older teenage years, but what was football like for you then? You say into the academy. How many times a week was that then?
So it was really interesting, like my journey at Swansea. I think when I first joined, it would have been maybe 2 or 3 times a week as a 10-year-old, and then obviously a game on a Sunday. But interestingly, obviously the club is so much different now to what it was back then. When I first joined, we had about 3 or 4 places that we would train. We would train like once in the leisure centre on a Monday, say once at a 5-a-side place on a Tuesday, and then obviously mixed training grounds. And then the place that we would play on the weekend, in all honesty, was like probably a below average school pitch, which was yeah, you join an academy, it's like a professional club, and the facilities when I first joined were staggeringly bad, to be honest. And yeah, like the teams that you'd play against as well, a lot different to what they do now or when I left as well. So we'd get up at 4 o'clock on a Sunday morning to make a minibus journey to Bournemouth or Plymouth or places like that. So yeah, it was, as a 10-year-old, it's a dream though. Like you're playing at a professional club, and it's a dream to be playing at that level, and learned an awful lot, really.
Yeah, it's remarkable the difference these days. I've got, friends who've got their own children in the academy, and I heard the other day they used the first team bus to travel to, I think, down south coast of England, Southampton, I think it was. And,
yeah.
I saw a couple of photos, and you've got like the 4-seater table seats, and it's just worlds apart from a minibus to Bournemouth. They're still leaving early in the morning, but the fixtures and the opponents are a different stratosphere to what they were then at that age. Is that something you probably appreciated at the time? Was brilliant opportunity for you at that, but yeah, I bet you wish you were on the slightly more premium experience.
Yeah, I think it's obviously much different now. I think they probably train a little bit more than what they did when I was there when I first joined. So I'm probably a bit glad that the fact that I was in when I was. But yeah, I think it was interesting because I sort of grew, my ability sort of grew as the club's ability grew, which was, maybe coincidental. But when I first got in there at 10, it was a few years of scrapping, like proper scrapping to stay within that academy structure. I was probably one of those players that was on the sort of brink of
Okay.
staying or leaving for a couple of years after I first got in there. So yeah, it was really good for me at the time. I did a lot of learning, a lot of like extra training sessions, maybe with a year younger at some point. So yeah, it was a really good experience for me, and it helped me grow as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had a lot of good mentors, I suppose, when you were with the Swans. I think the tutelage of Mr. Pennock and Mr. Gary Richards at all. What were your interactions with those two during your years there?
Yeah, so as I said, like the first couple of years were like probably scrapping to stay in the
Mm,
academy system, but then sort of grew into my body and stuff a little bit better. And towards the age of like 13, 14, then Pens came in as academy manager, and he was amazing with me. You know, had such an influence on me as a player, as a person as well. Gave
mm,
me tons of opportunities. Like I would go up and train with the under 18s when I was, 14 years of age, and play the odd game for the 18s. And Waggy as well, Waggy probably ended up coaching me for probably 6, 7 years by the time I'd left, because every time I would go up an age, he
as
would go
well.
up an
Yeah.
age. And yeah, we ended up doing, he was my coach, well, Pens was my coach on my first year, but then obviously when Pens left, Waggy came in, and then going up to the under 23s as well. Waggy came up the same time as I did. So two amazing role models to have. Can't speak highly enough of either of them. And taught me, like I said, taught me so much
Mm.
as a player and as a person as well.
You can see that the relationship, you came in. Obviously, I knew you knew them, but you could see there was a real, lifetime relationship with those two. You get on really well with them, as do all the players. I must admit, they have got a really good management style and camaraderie with them, just as much as when it needs to be serious.
Yeah.
They know when to turn that on as well. But let's go back through that then. Through your teenage years, where you excelled. I think you were under 18 Player of the Year, I've read as well. Which at the Swans, wherever they were on their own club journey, is a great, achievement for you to pick up. But you did, you began to break through, I think, into the Swans 23s. But I think I'm right in saying deadline day, January 2017, it was a day that probably stands out for you in your career. You made the move to Yeovil Town. Now, many of the Swans youngsters I know were down there in the South Coast. One in particular stood out when I looked. Liam Shepherd, who's obviously Corey's brother, was already down there. He's obviously now up at Salford City. What I want to ask, 99% of us who've kicked the ball will never have done this, but deadline day transfer, I think it happened, the afternoon before the deadline. What was that experience like?
It was really weird, to be honest, because obviously, like you said, you grow up watching deadline day every season. And I'd sort of like flirted with going out on loan a couple of times previously. So the 2 windows previously, there was talks about it happening, and for whatever reason, whether it would be Swansea not allowing it, or things not lining up properly, it never happened. So a couple of days before that transfer window, one of the boys that was on loan from Swansea got recalled and then sold to Barnsley. So I knew there was kind of talks of me being the one to replace him. I had numerous discussions with the Yeovil manager, for a long, long while previous to that. And yeah, just came in on deadline day. I sort of knew that something would maybe happen on that day. I think we played a 23s game maybe the day before, so it was a day off for us.
Mm.
And yeah, it was just a lot of hanging around. It got to like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you heard nothing really, so sort of in limbo. And then it got a few hours later in the afternoon, and sort of heard that maybe I'd need to be ready to go and sign something. But again, like I think me and my missus were sat in the car in Swansea at like 5 or 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
and thinking, oh, we might as well go home. It's not going to happen here. And then got a phone call to go down as quick as I could to the Liberty Stadium and sign the papers. I think we got there. I think the first team were actually playing a game, so it was quite hard to get into the ground actually. Um, But yeah, signed the papers like halfway through the first team game, and then went home, went to bed, not actually knowing
Oh,
if it'd gone through. So I
mm,
only saw that it'd gone through the morning after, which was an interesting experience, waking
mm,
up and finding out that I was a Yeovil player then effectively. So
yeah,
yeah, it was quite cool to be a part of a deadline day
yeah.
move. Interesting, like loads of different emotions going on. But yeah, cool experience.
Amazing, amazing. It wasn't, I think a couple of days later, you made your English Football League debut for Yeovil against Hartlepool United, I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what was it? What was your time down there? You were down there for a couple of months in the end in Somerset.
yeah, it was. I'd probably characterize it as a mixed time. Obviously, you know, as you're growing up and you start to get more clued up on the football league system and stuff like that. One of the main goals you have, or one of the main goals I had, was to play football league game. It's a massive achievement as a young footballer. So when I went there, interestingly enough, we're talking about not knowing if I'd signed until the morning after. They actually had 4 loan players, when I signed the paperwork the night before, and you can have 5 in a squad, so I assumed that I was the 5th one. I woke up and they'd signed 3 more, me and then 2 other boys on deadline day as well, so that took the total of loan players up to 7.
Mhm.
So as I sort of got down to Yeovil the day after, they sort of said that you're gonna be scrapping for that last loan spot in the squad. So to make my football league debut then a few days later, I was chuffed with that. It was an amazing experience, like good fan base. Yeovil, to be fair, their fans travelled really well, considering the journey from
Yeah,
Yeovil to Hartlepool is quite significant. They travelled really well, to be fair to them. And yeah, it was awesome. It was class to play a football league game. Um, Managed to play another one as well, maybe the week after. Um, and then yeah, then the mix. That's when the mixture
yeah,
of experiences would have come. I think
mm,
it was important for me to make that move, regardless of if I played, because I needed to get away from being comfortable at Swansea and being comfortable at home. So regardless of whether I was playing or not, it was an experience
mm,
that I needed to have. Um, but again, I think I unfortunately maybe got caught in a place where the manager was under pressure, needed to play the more experienced boys,
right,
and he in particular was struggling, I think, and
mm,
the club was starting to slide down as I sort of got there. So it was a little bit of bad timing, but
mm.
the experience taught me a lot, and I was very grateful to have that experience, and it stood me in good stead for the ups and downs of football after that, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. And well, it wasn't too long before you had your next opportunity then. Merthyr Town, the Martyrs came in for you. Um, Upon your release from Swansea, I guess. So again, you're going into that roller coaster of emotions across that summer. I saw on the BBC website a number of names were released at that time from the Swans, including yourself. And then obviously the opportunity to go and join Merthyr. So I'm assuming then you were really chomping at the bit to have some football under your belt, senior football as well, I suppose, at that age.
Yeah, so I got released. It must have been like towards the back end of the season previous.
Mm,
Um, as all young footballers do, they go on a few trials after, in pre-season and stuff, and none of them worked out. So by the time the opportunity to come to Merthyr came about, I'd been just training on my own for months before that, so I was desperate to play. Funny enough, I don't think a load of people knew, but I was training with Merthyr's rivals, Hereford, for a few weeks before that. And I couldn't actually sign there because they needed me to play a game, and they didn't have a game that I could play in as an unregistered player for like 3 or 4 weeks. So when Merthyr came calling, like, on a Wednesday, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go I need to go and play." I didn't know
mm,
a great deal about the club at the time. I'd played there a couple of times at Swansea in like pre-season
Right.
and things.
Yeah.
Didn't know a great deal about the club, but as soon as I stepped through the door, played the game, I was in love with the club. It's amazing, amazing club. Anyone, we obviously played there pre-season, and a lot of the boys, as soon as you pull up to the ground and you see the magnitude of the ground and you see the fans and all the boys would ask me, "Oh, what was it like to play here?" And I always say, unbelievable place to play. So um, can't speak highly enough of the club and my time there. Loved it. Yeah, can't speak highly enough of it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And yeah, it was a positive spell for you there. 100 appearances, I think, or just over for the Martyrs during your time there. But then came your first stint in the Cymru Premier, Aberystwyth. I remember your time there well from those years that you were there. I know many in Pembrokeshire were admirers of you whilst you were there. Particularly, I think you scored against us in your second season, a 2-2 draw. I remember you got one against us that day. But you had 2 seasons up with the Seasiders and then a similar duration with Pontypridd United. As I said, many admirers in the West, particularly when Pens and Waggy came to the club as well, knowing you as they do, as we've spoken about. And we finally got our man in the past summer. What were your initial thoughts then about a move when it sort of came around the Half West was showing an interest, etc.? Take us through those emotions.
Well, I actually almost signed before going to Aber. So I had a conversation with Wolvesy, but I'd been speaking to Aber for maybe a month before that conversation happened, and obviously there was a little bit of uncertainty of whether Harvey were going to end up in the Welsh Prem that season. It was the
Yeah.
COVID year, so um, you could say that this move was a long, long time coming. Um, but yeah, like obviously a lot went on behind the scenes at Ponty last year, so around Christmas time, I'd sort of made the decision that it was going to be my last few months of the club. And yeah, sort of for that last few months, I'd been telling my missus and my parents that if I was going to stay within the Welsh Prem, there was only one club that I wanted to play for, to be honest. And that was obviously Harvey West, like
I'm
you said.
glad you've clarified that.
Like you said, the relationship that I have with Pens, Waggy, the respect that I had from the club from playing against them for those 4 years. That was the only club that I really wanted to play for. So it was kind of weird when the season finished. It was sort of like waiting every day, looking at the phone and thinking, is he going to phone? Is he going to phone? Um, and maybe it was like 2-3 weeks after the season, and I saying to my missus, I don't think he's going to phone. So when I seen the message asking if I had time to chat, I was chuffed.
Cool.
And like I said to him on the phone that I told him straight away on the phone that I was waiting for the phone call, and if it came, then I was signing. So it was so quick and so easy to sort it out afterwards. And like you say, we've started so well. I'm chuffed with the decision.
Yeah, but coming in, you had those relationships. Many of the players you've played against, and
Yeah.
obviously Sheps and Ben Amoun you had played with at Pontypridd for spells there. Alongside yourselves and the new recruits, I know we've got Greg and Alric, perhaps, who already had relationships with the boys, having played previously. But yourself, Ben Amoun, Kyle Kenneford, Kyle McCarthy, you've all come in as newbies, I want to say. How have you found the off-field shenanigans? How's the dressing room? Because from me looking in, it looks, you're all getting on like a house on fire.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, to be honest. I don't particularly like moving clubs and having that feeling of having to integrate yourself, but the lads have been unbelievable with me. We had a really good dressing room at Ponty, and that it's quite rare to come by. I've played obviously in a lot of dressing rooms now, and you sort of have some good dressing rooms, you have some bad ones, and I didn't know what to expect from this one. Obviously, like you said, I've played against a lot of them in the past, and I know a few of them. Dills, Abu, I know them quite well from academy football as well. So,
Yeah.
but like you said, it's an unbelievable dressing room. Like you look forward to coming in to training, you look forward to coming into games, and the closeness, the banter we have, it's really, really good. And for all of the new boys, it's been easy to gel, I think. like you said, it was nice for me that I had Ben and Sheps there as well. But yeah, it's been really easy to integrate, and yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, there's a lot of banter that flies throughout. There's a lot of shenanigans that go around, but yeah, it's really good fun.
Yeah, some of it we won't mention on the podcast here, but let's talk about since you've come in. Then you again duck the water. We'll come on to perhaps Ammerford shortly. Getting goals in pre-season, it sort of whet people's appetite of what you were about. We'd seen you as an opposing player. I'd always been impressed with you. I'm blowing smoke a little bit, but genuinely, I'd always rated you as a player. So when you come in and Ben, etc., it was an exciting time. But pre-season into the season, you carried that on. You've always scored, to be fair, wherever you've played, but you seem to have really found excellent form this season. Obviously, the management, Pens and Waggy, and the wider coaching staff, they got 4, if not more, really good attackers at their disposal this year. And they are managing everyone's minutes well. It's going to be a long season. There's no hiding behind that, and utilising the squad, I think, is going to be key. The impact you've made, particularly off the bench and when you've started games, you've had some big, important goals. I think you're on 4 in 14 appearances already. You're well above your averages then in previous Cymru Prem seasons.
Yeah, I think obviously the big difference, like you said, we've got 4 strikers that are more than capable of starting games and playing good minutes and being assets to the team. So that's helped me because obviously in years previous, by this time I've missed a lot of football.
Mm,
That's probably the most disappointing thing since I've been in the Welsh Prem is I've probably been around the 1 in 3, 1 in 4 mark in terms of goals, but I've just not played consistently enough. Um, so Pens obviously knows that, and we've spoken about that since I've signed. So he's been unbelievable with the way that he's managed me, managed my minutes, managed training and stuff, and it's obviously helping me on the pitch, like stay on the pitch, touch wood for as long as possible, and yeah, I know if I'm on that pitch and getting those minutes that I will contribute with goals. So I'm
mm,
happy that it's gone like that. I think pre-season was massive to, although the goals don't necessarily count for anything, it is big to sort of boost that confidence, and not only my own confidence, but you know, other boys know then what I like to do, where I like to be,
mm.
and that was great, and I think it's definitely helped going into the season.
Definitely. Long may the heart-shaped celebration continue. Well, I know the reason for your other hand gesture, the 52 celebration with the graphic, but the heart, I'm assuming, and we haven't spoken about it, is that an acknowledgement to your little girl, Caddy, and obviously wife, Alex, then?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Obviously, touching on my wife, we've been together since we were 16. So going through like my footballing journey, she's lived it all as well. All those ups and downs that we've spoken about, she's been there through it all and been an amazing support network to me. So, yeah, for her and obviously my daughter as well. They are the reason, my biggest motivations, and they have been for years. So um, it's funny whenever I go to football now, like I'll come back the next day. Well, I'll see her the next morning, and she always asks, "Daddy, did you score today?" So like seeing the smile on her face when I have scored, she always wants to see the goal straight away. She always wants to see if I've done the celebration straight away. So yeah, it's an amazing feeling seeing that smile on her face the day after, and it's only something small, but to make that smile is priceless.
Superb, mate. I absolutely love that. And fingers crossed it comes out again on Saturday. We've hosted Carnarvon at our temporary home in Carmarthen again this weekend. 5:15 kickoff at the LHP Stadium. The game again against Carnarvon is being broadcast across Scorio's digital platforms too. So if you can't attend in person, please do watch from home. The last time we played the Coffees, it was also covered, as I said, a crucial goal in stoppage time to win it that day. And out came the celebration. You also scored against Newtown in front of the Scorio cameras with that Greg to Ricky to yourself goal there, where Greg's pass cut through the back line. Hopefully it's a bit of a habit. Are you hoping to do it again this weekend in front of the cameras?
It'd be nice to, yeah. I think it's actually 3 in my last 3 on the cameras dating back to when I was at Ponte as well, funny enough. So yeah, maybe that's a nice incident to have. I hope that it carries on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, the goal up there was so important. To make that 6 from 6 points for us after 2 away games and 2 really tough places to go was so important. And
Mm.
yeah, if I can chip in with another one Saturday, I'd be over the moon with that. But again, it's just about picking up as many points as we can. We had the goals coming into the season of making the top 6 and having a good Welsh Cup run. And, we've started off really well. We've still got a load of work left to do. But, if we can carry on playing like we are playing, there's no reason why we can't hit those goals this season.
Definitely. And, well, fingers crossed we can pick up some points again this weekend, keep us in the top 6 mix. We are second in the league with just 9 games to go. It's mad how we're well over halfway in phase 1 now. And hopefully, hopes are high for the momentum to continue. You mentioned the Welsh Cup there. We'll also be heading back to a place you do know very well pretty soon, drawn away at Ammanford in the next round of the JD Welsh Cup. A few mutual friends who have already been throwing pelters my way and no doubt your way, sort of back in the black and whites. How do you feel about the draw?
Yeah, me and Notty were speaking in the car on the way to training on Tuesday, and I said, we're going to have them away. There's no doubt in my mind. So when we were out on that pitch last night and Pens shouted over that we had Amford away, it was like, yeah, I already knew. um, yeah, like you, I had, a good number of messages last night as soon as the draw got made from my mates or, a couple of their team. I won't mention any names, but on Saturday I spoke to one of their players and, congratulated him on a good cup upset up in Aber. And I said, oh, hopefully we get you in the next round. And he messaged me back saying, no, we don't want an easy draw. So that's a little bit of a extra motivation to go and to perform well in that game. But yeah, it's obviously home for me. So there'll be a lot of eyes on that game from my perspective. But yeah, again, it's going to be a tough draw. It's a tough place to go. They're gonna give it everything. They've obviously picked up a good bit of form in the last few weeks. It's a great club. Like they do so much for the community. And like I said, I haven't got a bad word to say about the club. But hopefully we'll be celebrating come next month.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll pick up near the date when that fixture is going to be. I'm assuming it's either going to be the Friday night or the Saturday afternoon up in Ammanford, but we'll keep you informed about that one. Mentioned league, mentioned cup, mentioned your career, but what we haven't spoken about is your international journey too. Playing experiences first as well, but you were involved in many Wales age grades along the way, all the way up to an appearance with the under-21s as well. What was that like? Proud Welshman singing the anthem. What was that like?
It was my dream from when I was a little boy. I'd be out in the garden for hours and hours in like a Wales top pretending that I was Craig Bellamy. Literally every day. So yeah, the first time I represented my country was unbelievable feeling. I played terribly in that game because I was so nervous. And then I think after that camp, I didn't actually play for Wales for another year after that. But when I did get back in, it was just a determination to stay involved as much as possible and thrive, not just be there for the experience, but thrive as well. So when I went back in as an under-17s, and I think I played every game for my age group up until 21s. I played for the year above, and we had some incredible experiences. We as when we were under 19s, we went out to Georgia for a Euro qualifying campaign, and we ended up, I think we won 6-0 in the third game against Moldova, I think it was, to actually knock Holland out of that group, which was unbelievable. We were all like sort of on the pitch, not knowing what Holland had done. And then obviously we knew we needed to win that game by 6 goals, and we managed it somehow. So incredible experiences. You go to countries that you would, you never go to otherwise, and play against some of the best players in the world, obviously. So incredible experience. I loved every single minute of it.
That's some story to look back on. You say experiences there. You have already started passing on your career experiences. You've set up a coaching business, I suppose, OJ Coaching. You're doing one-to-one and small group coaching. What I've really enjoyed seeing, some of the younger men. We sort of outlined the 4 strikers at the club at the moment. That's perhaps, leaving Dan John, who's been absolutely on fire for the development squad this year already. He's been involved in some coaching, as has Harry, coming in and learning from you. Is that something you're wanting to embark on? And well, I'm hoping you play for a good couple of years yet. I'm not teeing him up for retirement, but is that something you want to do going forward?
Yeah, definitely. It's something I think I set it up about 4 years ago just to, just to make a little bit of, extra income, but also to, like you said, to share my experiences to help with the next generation of youngsters. And funny enough, I think I had a message off Harry and Dan's mother about 4 years ago to try and get coaching, but we never actually managed to get any sessions in for some reason. I think it may have been COVID related. But yeah, they came to me in the summer, and yeah, it was weird because I was obviously speaking to Pens like about signing and then taking them coaching, and obviously not really wanting to talk about it. But yeah, they were really, really good sessions to put on for them too. They both got unbelievable ability in very, very different ways, which was quite cool to take those sessions for the different abilities that they both have. But yeah, it's something that I really want to carry on with. Like you said, after I stop playing, I can't at the moment can't see myself going into management or coaching of a first team environment. So I think that'd be a cool way to stay involved in the game and help, like I said, help other players.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I think previous years when things perhaps haven't been going so well, Dan John, he's been in squads and he's made a couple of appearances, but I think his opportunities would have come more in New Year's. And I think it almost relates to your career experiences, almost at the wrong time. He's
Yeah,
excelled. His goal ratio for the development this year is fantastic, and he's biding his time, he's doing things right, as is Harry. Harry's featured, he's been in the squad, every week, but he's come on, he started, and I suppose it's down to the management style again, of managing minutes for all the boys across the year. And it's great to see those 2 talents coming through. But another opportunity that you've took, very much linking back to your 21s, etc., and your Wales age grade, and potentially another career pathway for you into broadcasting. You linked up with Sgorio. You co-commentated with Ivan Gwilym just a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, the infamous under-21s game where they were missing a couple of players. I did tune in and listen to your coverage, and I honestly hold my hands up. I think I can learn a few things from you with your expert analysis and communication. Did you enjoy it, first of all? And again, is that something you want to explore going forward?
yeah, something that I've sort of been looking at since I came into the league. It was one of the reasons I actually entered the league, sort of wanting to go into that side eventually. And yeah, just obviously I had a few more interviews than usual this year, which probably didn't hurt. Get the exposure up a little bit, but yeah, loved every second of that. Like I said, I was a bit nervous in the first 10 or 15 minutes, but loved it. Loved the whole experience, the build up to it, learning about the players, watching the games, and um, then obviously on the night, it was a disappointing night for Wales, like you said, but yeah, personally loved every second of it, and I'd love to do it again.
Fantastic. Well, I'm hoping to keep my Bluebirds Nest live job going for the foreseeable. Right, there's always an invite for you to come on and co-commentate with me. I'd much rather see you playing for the time being for at least a couple of years. Hoping to see your hardship celebration many more times yet. But mate, it's been fantastic. Really appreciate your time. Diolch am eich amser. Keep scoring. Fingers crossed for another one in front of the Sgorio cameras this weekend, mate.
Yeah, top man. I appreciate the invite to come on, and it's been a pleasure.
Superb. Cheers, Old.